everyone, welcome back to the Book Cave with me, Jenny. So today I have my February wrap-up, and there's not going to be too many books in this. I believe there's only like 4, and I did read more than that in the month, but most of those were in other vlogs that you will be seeing later on in March. I did read a lot of the Goosebumps Slappy Worlds, Burning Crowns, and quite a few mangas, which is, that wrap-up has already been posted. But yeah, so I did have a pretty good reading month, and I am glad that I was able to bring a vlog to you each week. I'm going to attempt to keep doing that, but we will see how it goes. And in the meantime, these are the other books that I read in February. I finished Shy by Max Porter, and this is my second book by him. The first was Grief is the Thing with Feathers, and I have to say, although Shy wasn't bad, I honestly didn't truly get it. It was obviously a character study, but I really don't feel like I learned anything about Shy. I don't really feel like I gained too much sympathy for him. I mean, I have maybe a little bit for the fact that he's obviously struggling, but like the way he was described, the way his lashing outs were described, just did not give me any sort of, like, oh, he's so troubled and needs help sort of thing. I mean, I did see that, but I also felt like he just went way too far, and like, yeah, I'm glad he's getting help, but yeah, just not a particularly likable character. And yeah, like I said, the writing style was definitely interesting. It was a more experimental style, and this is also a very short book, so it is one that if you feel like you want to check it out, I don't feel like it's to be avoided, I'll put it that way, even though I cannot really recommend it all that much either. I listened to The Princess Knight, and this is a young adult / new adult romantasy, and I did like it. I felt like it was a little long. This was a 14-hour audiobook, and it follows Princess Clea, her betrothed, Prince Donald, and his bodyguard, Ronan. And I really did like this. I liked the character growth that Clea went through. Like, she starts out, we find out she's into fashion. She likes dressing up, she likes designing clothes, things like that. But we quickly find out that she actually really does care about her country and about politics. She just prefers to politic, and that's why she likes dressing to make a good impression on people and things like that. And I just thought that was really cool. And her and Donald are definitely a fun couple to follow. I feel like they definitely have a strong friendship. I was not, however, too much of a fan of the love triangle, although thankfully it pretty quickly got resolved, so it wasn't throughout the whole book. I did appreciate that. And I did also like her relationship with Ronan. I felt like they had a really good friendship and everything. And I liked how each of these relationships was different, even though they were bodyguard and the protected person. And yeah, this was really fun. Oh, and it does also have an academy setting. That is, the whole premise is that Clea goes to this academy that is for just like really, really advanced warriors, or well, to make you an advanced warrior. And she basically follows Donald there because theirs is a political match, and she knows it's like very important. And plus, she really does care about him, even though it's like arranged. She is still like, look, he's at least my friend. Like, I don't like the way things happened. So yeah, that was fun to see as well. And it actually does have some pretty good world building in there and some good plot throughout the rest of the book. I will say it was definitely a lot heavier on the romance. That got more development than the rest of the plot, but I don't feel like the rest of the plot was neglected either. It just wasn't quite as in-depth as the romance. But yeah, I would say if you like romantasy, you would definitely like this. If you do not like the romance part at all, then I feel like this is probably not going to be for you. It is just, I feel like, a little too heavy on the romance to really call it anything other than romantasy. Macbeth by Joe Nesbo is part of a series called Hogarth Shakespeare Retellings, and this was definitely an interesting one. It's a modern day retelling of Macbeth, where Macbeth is in the police force. He is part of SWAT and winds up making his way to police commissioner instead of him becoming king. It really followed the plot points of the play very well, I feel like, and it was definitely dark and gritty. I do feel like perhaps it was a little too dark, or just dark for the sake of being dark at certain times. However, the characters were all very flawed, and I did actually like that. They were all flawed, but at least most of them were trying to do the right thing. And you did have a few who were innocent, or at least relatively innocent. And I do have a few more in this retellings series that I would like to read, and it'll kind of be interesting to compare them all for sure. Tales from the Loop is much more of a visual novel. This inspired the Amazon series of the same title, and it was started by these paintings that Simon Stollenhag did. And you can see on the cover, I actually thought originally that they were like photo manipulations, but they're actually paintings. And the whole book is just a bunch of them, and most of them have a couple paragraph story with them. Obviously, this is more of a sci-fi book. It follows this town in which there was a particle accelerator known as the Loop underneath it, and basically how it affected that community and different things. And yeah, I just found this fascinating. And I know I said in the book haul where I got this, there was more in this series. I don't think they were in this series, or at least one might have been. I think that was Things from the Water. But he has 2 other books that are similar to this, and I had said at that point that my library didn't have any other ones. They now have all of them, so they are now on hold, and I'm really looking forward to them because this is absolutely fascinating to me, and just the landscapes are beautiful, and then to have these like sci-fi elements up there, that is very cool. And this is about like the little bit that you would get on each one. And yes, this is obviously like an oversized book, but yeah, this is definitely like one of my favorites of the year so far. So that's everything I have for y'all today. As always, I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please hit like and subscribe. That way you'll be notified every time I post a new video. And also, you can follow me on Instagram, which I've not been that active on lately. I would like to improve that, but we'll see how that goes. I also have a Goodreads and a Fable and a Discord that you can join, and we can chat about books. All of that will be linked on my little end screen, and I will see you next time in the book cave.